geography is in understanding a crystal structure or understanding what is a crystal. So crystals, obviously, you know, they are in the solid form. So solids, we know that consist of multiple atoms. So there are lots of atoms, or there are cluster of atoms, right? And all those are placed in close distance. A solid consists of a single atom or multiple, sorry, not a single atom, not that possible. A solid consists of atoms, multiple atoms, or a group of atoms. Say you can see here, I put a green atom and a red atom together. It's not just all green. So either multiple atoms or just the same type of atom put together, arranged properly within a close distance. Okay. Now, this way of arranging, I will call a scheme of arrangement, or I will say it as an order. Arrangement of atoms within a solid, I will call it as an order. I will call it as order. Okay. Now, based on how atoms are arranged, okay, you can classify solids into three. First one is single crystal. Now, what do you understand as single crystal? Obviously, a single piece of crystal, right? Single crystal. Sugar, all of you have sugar or jaggery at home. You would have seen. You take one small sugar, it will be like a crystal. It will be in the form of a crystal, right? So, single crystals will have a distinct shape for each material. Like your sugar crystal has a shape, but the jaggery crystal has a different shape. You take any other crystal, it will be of a different shape. But each of these are single pieces. Okay. Now, another thing, they are very smooth and shiny, right? Sugar crystal you take off, it is like very bright, not exactly like diamond, but still it is bright. They are smooth and shiny. Okay, they also have edges, they also have streak edges. Now, what if I broke that sugar crystal? Obviously, I take one sugar crystal and I break it. Obviously, it breaks into pieces, right? It breaks into pieces. So, when I am breaking it, actually, I am cutting it or breaking it in a particular direction. I'm cutting it in a particular direction. I take a sugar crystal. Okay, if you are not able to imagine the smallest sugar crystal, think of like the bigger sugar crystals, the bigger ones. Okay, I take it and I want to break it. If I break it, it breaks in a particular direction only. It gets broken in only a direction, in a particular direction. It will not break randomly. It will not break in random direction. There is a particular direction to it to break. Okay. Now, so what's the most important part of a single crystal? It is this. Atoms are arranged in a regular periodic pattern. So you can see this group of atom and the next group of atoms, the arrangement from one to another. So you can see this entire line, you can see this next line, the third line, the fourth line, fifth line, like that. And you will see that, just a sec, what is happening? All right. So you will see that they all are arranged with proper same distance, right? All are of same distance, even from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, like that, all same distance. Even not just horizontally, even vertically, the distance is same. This is like a proper periodic arrangement of atoms. Okay, periodic arrangement of atoms. Now, example, perfect example is quartz and diamond. Okay. Now, so this is the first type where you have proper periodic arrangement of atoms. Okay, and there is a distinct shape. So it looks shiny. Obviously, diamond looks shiny. Everybody know that. So this is single crystal. So then what are the other classifications? Second one is known as polycrystalline. So what happened in the previous? Okay, and yeah. So in the previous one, you had single crystals arranged with at equal distance, right? Now, when I come to polycrystalline, you can see I have divided, there are some light lines here, very, very thin lines here, right? So within the lines, you just see this portion, you just see within this trapezium kind of shape, okay? Within this, there is a periodic arrangement of atoms, okay? But when I take this next portion, the second portion here, there is a periodic arrangement, but it's not the same as what was there in this left side one. I go to the central one, within that box there is again a periodic arrangement, but that is not same as the others. So like that, it is like kind of multiple single crystals joined together. Polycrystalline, poly itself refers like something multiple. Okay, so multiple single crystals when you put together forms a polycrystalline solid, polycrystalline structure or polycrystalline solid. Polycrystalline, very simple to understand, multiple single crystals put together. Within the each single crystal there will be a periodic arrangement, but from one to another it will be different. Okay, so this is different from this is different from this, like that it goes on. Now comes the last one, known as amorphous solid. Amorphous are like, they don't have any periodic arrangement, unlike single crystal or polycrystalline. They are just randomly arranged. They are just randomly arranged. Okay, so give me a moment. All right, they are just randomly arranged. All right, so now moving on. So amorphous solid have full random arrangements. Okay, so three types of classification of solid based on how atoms are arranged. First one you call as single crystal, where you have proper periodic arrangement or regular periodic arrangement. There is an order, I will say. Okay, and this is just the same type of atoms which are being repeated. Everything is having one kind of arrangement. Now, moving on to next, polycrystalline. Polycrystalline is very simple to understand. If you understand the meaning of polymer is, if you take example of polymer, so a polymer is multiple monomers joined together. The same way, a polycrystalline solid has multiple single crystals joined together. So within one, so there will be like multiple arrangement. Within one, there is a periodic arrangement, but from the first one to second one, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, like that, the arrangement is different. Each is like a different single crystal. Okay, like for an example, I can take sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, if I take, sodium has an arrangement, while chlorine will have another arrangement. I'm just giving you a simple example. Best example are metals, because obviously metals can be a mixture of many kind of elements. Okay, so for that reason. And the last one is amorphous solid, where you don't have any regular arrangement of atoms. The atoms are just distributed randomly. They are just distributed randomly. And the best examples are glass and rubber. Glass and rubber. Now moving on, some more basics. So this arrangement of atoms, we call it as order, or I can also say as phase. I can say, so I arrange all, say for this single crystal, I arrange all of them at this equal distance. I will say that there is a phase. Okay. What if I disturb this arrangement? I will say that there is a change in the phase. Okay, or there is a change in the order. Arrangement of atoms you can call either as order is here, order, or else phase. Okay, if there is any change in this, you will call it as a change in the order has been changed, or else the phase has been changed. Okay, now moving on further. So if you notice the previous, this first one itself, I have placed this one atom or these two atoms at a particular position, right? I have placed it at a particular position. I will call that position as a lattice point. It is known as a lattice point. And this entire arrangement is known as lattice. So let's come to it. Very important point. Atoms are represented by points corresponding to their average position. In a simple way to say, I have different positions for where I can put the atom. I take any crystalline structure, and wherever I put that atom, okay, first row, first point, first row, second position, first row, third position, first row, fourth position, second row, first position, second row, second position, second row, third position, second row, fourth position. So whichever are these positions in which the atoms can be placed are all represented by points. I will just put them as points. Okay, I will call those as lattice points. Lattice points. Now, the surrounding entire area, the entire portion in which all these points are there, I will call as a lattice. So each of the point is a lattice point. Each of the point where the atom can sit is a lattice point, and the entire thing, entire points, all these positions available for the atoms to sit are, or I can call by a single term known as lattice. Okay, entire position, entire set of points, entire set of positions available for the atoms to sit, I'll call as lattice. Now the atom which I am going to put, I will call it as a basis. So basis is like a single atom or a cluster of atom or a group of atom, okay, which I am going to put in each of these lattice points. That is known as basis. So I have all the points or the positions where I know I am going to put the atoms. Okay, it's obviously, it's not literally like I go and do it directly. It is already there. Okay, if I take any crystal point, their position, the atoms are already there. They are already there in a big position, right? So the position where they sit, the atoms are put, are or the atoms occupy, better to say the atoms occupy, are known as lattice point. And the arrangement of all these points together, everything together as a set, I will call as lattice. The atom or the group of atom or cluster of atom which I am going to put here is known as a basis. Okay, so basically my next step is to take each of these atoms and put at all these positions, all these points. I will get what? I will get the entire crystal structure. So this is very important. Lattice, that means a three-dimensional arrangement of all the points or all the lattice points available for the atoms to occupy. Okay, plus the atoms. Okay. Basically, I have like one, say suppose this is a class, it's happening in a class, there is a bench with 4 chairs, 4 places to sit, another bench with 4 places to sit, and suppose this is a student, each student comes and sits the place, the entire class gets filled, or the entire bench is filled, or the entire column gets filled. Okay, column of benches get filled. Now, so lattice plus basis results into crystal structure. Moving on. So, a crystal structure in a 3-dimensional form. So, the previous whatever I showed you was just a 2-dimensional arrangement. This was just an arrangement in 2 dimensions. 2 dimension means what? X direction, horizontal, and vertical, y direction, right? X direction and y direction. But you know that the stuffs in universe exists either in 3 dimension, okay, 4th dimension also there. Let's not worry about the 4th dimension, the time. We are just worried about the directions. So 3 dimensions, any crystal has a 3-dimensional appearance. Okay, so this was 2-dimensional appearance. Now if I take suppose sodium chloride, your best partner's salt. I take that one. I will actually get a three-dimensional arrangement which is like this. You can see all these points have been occupied by the atoms. The blue ones are the atoms, okay? And three-dimensionally, if I see it, it is literally like it has been all joined together by different lines. Or you can imagine that this entire three-dimensional structure is like a big cube, right? It's like that Rubik cube which you would have used in your childhood. So it's like a big cube. The entire thing, the entire crystal is in like a cube. It looks similar to a cube. Okay. So if I take just one portion, all right, I am just taking the front portion here at the top, left side. I'm just taking this one portion. Okay. You can see, if I consider this one portion of cube, the next cube is also similar to this shaded region. So the shaded region, what I have done, I have a big cube. I have a big cube. I consider a smaller one in it. Okay. I realize that all the other smaller cubes next to it are also of same size, same type. They are exactly the same. There is no difference. So this smallest portion, okay, this smallest portion I will call as a unit cell. It's called as a unit cell. So if I take this small cube, I keep one more similar another cube next to it. I keep another one below. I keep below, then behind, and I keep on filling it. Okay. And so what did I do? I take the smallest piece of cube and I kept on repeating exactly similar cube. Okay. And I got the entire three-dimensional structure. Entire three-dimensional structure. So this smallest portion, okay, the smallest portion of the structure, which when I repeated, the same thing when I repeated, right, I repeated it here, I can repeat it here, I can repeat it at the back, I can repeat it at the bottom, everywhere. When I repeat it, I get the entire crystal structure. All right. Now, I can say this box, I have taken it in a slightly different way and I have marked, obviously you can see this is three directions, right? There is an X direction, there is Y direction and there is Z direction. All three directions are the X, Y and Z. Okay. And this so-called smallest portion, the unit cell, I have now put it here and I have connected with the directions X, Y and Z. Now this figure is very important. Why? I had in this direction, how much is the length with respect to the three axes? Suppose this is your origin, right? So you have X here, Y here, Z here. So that means this is the origin of the axis. From the origin to the edge of the cube in X axis. How much is the distance? That is known as given by a letter A. Towards the X axis, I give it by a letter A. The distance or the length of the unit cell in the X axis or in the X direction, I denote it by the letter A. Similarly, the length of the unit cell in the Y direction from the origin, I will denote it by the letter B. Are you getting my point? We first understood that crystal structure was all in two dimension. From two dimension we came to three dimension because all the crystals actually exist in three dimension. And within the three dimension we noticed that if I take a small portion of that one, it actually I can repeat that small portion and get the same entire crystal structure. That smallest portion of the crystal I will call as a unit cell. Okay. Now, what I have done is I have taken that unit cell from this shaded portion I have taken out and drawn separately. Now here what happens? I have the unit cell. This is the origin. I have drawn the three axes in the three directions: x axis, y axis, z axis. Towards the x axis, what is the length of the unit cell from the origin? I will denote it by the letter A. Towards the y axis, what is the length of the unit cell? I denote it by the letter B. Towards the z axis, what is the length of the unit cell? That is C. A, B, C. We call them as lattice parameters. Lattice parameters. A, B, C. Okay. Now you can think of it. Why am I calling it as a unit cell? That's because of the understanding that this distance A is a 1 unit, be it in centimeter or meter or whatever. Obviously, it cannot be meter, sorry. Centimeter, millimeter, nanometer, whatever it is. Okay. So, this distance A, I am considering if for a unit cell, it will be 1 of 1 unit. This distance B will be of 1 unit. This distance C will be 1 unit. Like how you do in a graph, 1 unit is equal to say 1 centimeter or 1 millimeter or whatever be the value, the same way. So this is 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, all three directions. Now, what I have done? Exactly opposite to A, the angle between B and C, I have marked as alpha, Greek letter alpha. Exactly opposite to the length A, or the lattice parameter A, I mark the angle alpha. Similarly, exactly opposite to B, I mark the angle beta. Exactly opposite to C, I mark the angle gamma. These are known as crystallographic angles or lattice angles. Lattice angles or crystallographic angles. Okay. So basically all these axes, you can, all this ABC and all these axes, or this XYZ, I can better say XYZ, I can say as crystallographic axis. Okay. So crystallographic axes are XYZ. ABC are the lattice parameters, and angles alpha, beta, gamma, lattice angles. Okay. Now, moving on from here. Not necessarily that every time your unit cell has to be a cube. You have seen the difference in this page itself. This, you can see it looks different, and this one is not same, right? These two, the shaded region and the green one, are not looking exactly the same. They both are different. Both are different. Okay. Now, for that reason, that obviously means there can be different arrangements or different way in which, what is the major change here? So if this was X direction, Y direction and Z direction, this length is different, this is different, this is different. If I come here, this is another length itself. All these ABCs are different. Angles are also different, right? So I come into a classification, or I come into a concept of crystal structure or crystal systems, I will say now, or different ways of arranging the atoms, different ways of arranging the atoms, different ways of arranging, and the atoms were in the lattice, in the entire lattice. So I will call it as Bravais lattice. Bravais lattice. 14 different ways of arranging atoms divided into, or another way of saying, 14 different lattice types. And this entire 14 different ways are divided into 7 cubic systems. So crystal systems, I will say as overall, crystal structure. A crystal structure can be always, it need not be always cubic. It can be of different shape. It looks like a cube, but it is not a cube, because the size, the side, the length, A, B, C, the angles alpha, beta, gamma, they all are different. Okay, so different ways of arranging atoms are there, and because of that there are 7 different classifications. I'll come, if once I explain this you will get this, what are these different 14 and 7. Okay, first is the simplest which you understand, that is a cubic structure or a cubic system. I will now call it, I'll start call it as a cubic system. So you understand that in a cube all sides are same. So for that reason, okay, for that reason, all these sides A, B, C will be same. In addition, all the angles alpha, beta, gamma will be same. So for a cubic system, you have A is equal to B is equal to C, alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma. Okay. Now, based on how, so this is one cubic system, this is one crystal system, I will call it as a cubic system. 7 crystal system, first one is cubic system, where all sides are equal, all angles are equal. Now how do I arrange atoms in it? First one is known as a simple cubic, that means atoms arrange or lattice points at all corners. That means I take a unit cell, I take this one structure, unit cell structure. I put atoms at all the corners. How many atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So totally 8 atoms, top and bottom together, right? So this is known as a simple cubic structure. Okay, a simple cubic structure. Now, what if I take this entire arrangement where I have atoms at all the corners, and I put one atom at the center in addition. Okay, I put at the center and call it as a body-centered cubic structure. A body-centered cubic, BCC. Simple cubic is also known as SC. This is BCC, body-centered cubic. There is one more classification. That means I take all these 8 corner atoms and I put one atoms at each of the center of the face. So this front portion I will call as face. This side is also a face. So whatever are the sides of the cube, you call it as a face. Exactly, this bottom also has a face, right? If I lift it up, obviously the bottom of the crystal also has a face. Okay, so the different sides I will call as face. Now, so all 8 atoms, one each at the corner, and I put one atom at the center of the such faces. That is the face-centered cubic system. So totally how many faces can you see? 1 front, 2, 3, 4, 1 at the back 5, and then one there at the bottom 6. So totally there are 6 faces. Okay, so 6 faces means at each center of each face I keep 1. So there is additionally 6 atoms. So 8 corner atoms plus 6 atoms at the center of the face, at each face, that becomes face-centered cubic. Okay, now, so cubic system you have understood. Moving on to the next one, known as tetragonal. See what has happened. I kept A and B of the same length, but C is very long. C is very large. The distance is more, the length is more. So A is equal to B, not equal to C. Okay, but all the angles alpha, beta, gamma remains the same. That is known as tetragonal. So tetragonal crystal system. Now, what are different ways of arranging? I have simple. Simple means again I put atoms at each of the corners. Okay, it's also known as primitive, simple or primitive. And then there is a body centered also for this particular arrangement. So body centered, once again the same. I have atoms at each of the corners and I put one atom at the center. Okay, and next is orthorhombic. Orthorhombic, what happened in orthorhombic? None of the sides are same. A not equal to B not equal to C. You can see yes, A is small, B is different, C is much longer. Okay, and but all the angles are 90 degree. All the angles are 90 degree. If all the angles are 90 degree, if you remember whatever you learned in maths, when all angles are same or of 90 degree, you say it as orthogonal. When something is orthogonal, then the angle is understood to be 90 degree. So all angles are 90 degree. But what happens to the arrangement? I get the simple or primitive. That means I put one atom at the corners, and then body centered, all atoms at the corners, one each at the corners and one at the center. And then face centered, where you have atoms at the corners and at the center of the face. But there is one more thing. Base centered. What does it mean? Atoms at all the corners and one each only on the top and the bottom. We call it as base. Base of something, right? And take a book has a base, that is the bottom portion, right? But here we also consider the top. So top and bottom, I put one atoms, that is base centered. Okay, so we are done with 3 crystal systems: cubic system, tetragonal system, and orthorhombic system. How many arrangements